Game 365 podcast in the building with Joey Kash. How you doing, bro?
What's up, bro?
Man, just chilling, man. You know, I was glad that I got the opportunity to get with you. It's been a long time, man.
I appreciate you having me, bro.
For sure,
real,
man. It's definitely a must-have. I'm glad that,
I've definitely been a fan of the show, bro.
Man, I appreciate it. Fan of the music, fan of you just putting on for the 206, the town, man, the Northwest. A lot of cats, you know what I'm saying? Their sound is a little bit different, man. You know, when niggas got that Seattle sound, man, you got to applaud them and respect them, you know what I'm saying?
See, people be saying we don't got no sound, you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
But it's like, you know, people, you got to pay attention when somebody's really bringing that sound for real.
Facts.
And, you know, people want to talk about who ain't doing it and don't want to talk about who is doing it.
Real
you know
talk.
What I'm saying? So I really be feeling like I am bringing that sound for real. And, you know, the people I be collabing with, I feel like, you know, I bring that when I bring people on certain records.
Nah, real talk. And I like your videos be like movies too.
Thank you, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. This nigga's videos be like, I be like, you got Spike Lee behind there?
When I was a kid, bro, I was a movie head for real. You know what I'm saying? So I really be, you know what I'm saying? So I really be looking at it, you know what I'm saying? Like when I do a video, I really look at it like it's a movie, you know what I'm saying?
Motion picture.
For real. I be really thinking like, okay, if this was a movie, how would I shoot this? Like, how does it look need to be? Does it need to be at daytime or at night, or you know what I'm saying? What type of car I need for this, or
real talk.
You know what I'm saying? Just the whole thing. You know, I really be thinking it out for real, like it's a movie.
Let's rewind just a little bit, man. Let the world know, you know, where you from, where you came up at.
Yeah, I'm Joey Kash, man. I'm from the Fed. You know, but I moved all around though. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to move like every year. You know what I'm saying? Like type. You know. I used to move like every year type, you know, so I know people from all over and got family all over, you know what I'm saying? So I spent most of my time out in the Fed.
That's what's up. Well, you know what I'm saying? Was it highway Fed or deep Fed, you know what I'm saying? Damn near going 348 Federal Way or
every part for real.
Every part for real.
I'm telling you, like I didn't really hit everywhere, you know what I'm saying, around the whole joint. But you know, people be wanting you to, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to be from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? People, but really, I didn't live everywhere people can think of for real. You know what I'm saying? But definitely all over the Fed for real.
How was your childhood growing up though? You know, like you know, was it easy for you? You know, did you fall in love with music early? Like, did you have mom, pops, or uncles and aunties, grandma and grandpas playing music while they was cleaning up? You know what I'm saying?
See, so you know, with my family and stuff, you know, they was in the criminal lifestyle and all that growing up, so that's part of the reason why I moved around a lot, you know, because it was just, you know, sometimes it might get hot or, you know what I'm saying, whatever might happen and you gotta move around, you know, so it gets like that. So, you know, we would, you know, so my childhood was just a lot of ups and downs. So it was a real roller coaster, you know. I can tell you some stories where you'll be like, bro, you know, that's the craziest I ever heard. I can just tell you some stories where we was having it. And you'll be like, bro, your childhood was golden. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just how the game goes. You know what I'm saying?
That's how the game goes, man.
You know what I'm saying? And as a kid, I experienced all that being with them. I experienced the ups and downs of life early on. You know what I'm saying? But having, you know, whatever you want, and then losing all that.
Man, that's why they say they say top ramen one day, fettuccine the next.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta go through all that. You know what I'm saying? You appreciate everything in the end. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's a lot of ups and downs. You know, but it's all part of the journey though. You know, for real.
What you learned in the midst of the struggle coming up though? Like, was there any lessons that you know what I'm saying that you kind of take with you today?
Be grateful.
Be grateful.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody gotta do nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't see, you know, like my parents, especially my mom, do for everybody. And then when you need it, ain't nobody around. You know what I'm saying? And so you start to notice those few people that did do something for you, you know what I'm saying, that did come through, and you never know who it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? And it might not be the person that you done a million favors for. It might be that person you did one favor for and they appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? So I know that, you know, at the end of the day, you can do whatever for whoever. That don't mean they're gonna look back out for you. So when somebody do come through for you, I'm the type of person that I don't care if it was 10 years ago, I'm gonna appreciate it like it was today. You know what I'm saying? Like, old favor is just as good as a new favor. You know what I'm saying? I'm appreciate it the same.
Looking back as a kid, you know, where do you think that you get your flavor, you know, your game and the essence of your music from, man, because you got your own style. You got a way of how you put your music together, how you pop your game, how you pop this real life shit, and I like it. But, like, can you look back and be like, damn, I was looking up at Unc? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or I like how the next door neighbor's pops, man, how he just used to move, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
Really, bro, it was all in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can really tell you, like my parents, bro, they was, you know what I'm saying, like, they was really, you know, in that. So, so it's like, I really don't got to look no further than, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in the living room.
Right down the hall. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. You know what I'm saying? So, and this, you know, I learned a lot of that, you know, of just, and not even just teaching you, like, that, you know, because my parents, they were pushing me to be in the streets. You know what I'm saying? They always pushing me to do something different. You know what I'm saying? But that something different was like, you got to figure that out. I don't know how to teach you how to do something different. I just not want you to do something different. You know what I'm saying? So you got to figure out how to do it. You know what I'm saying? But this ain't what we want for you. You know what I'm saying? So, but you take all those lessons and you take all, you know, everything that you was observing, because, you know, kids are very observant. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was one of those kids. You know, I was one of those observant kids. You know, so I take all that and I put it all in the music.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? I take all of it. Sometimes people be mad at me, some of the stuff I'll be talking about for real. But it'd be like, look, bro, that was my experience.
It's your life.
You know what I'm saying? So,
it's like you're writing your own autobiography on the track.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Where did you get the name Joey Kash?
I was watching the movie about the country singer Johnny Kash. And I was trying to, when I was coming up with my stage name or whatever, I didn't want it to be that far off from my, you know, from my, you know, my name. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want nobody to be like, oh, your rap name is such and such, but your real name is this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so I wanted it to be similar. So, you know, it's like, you know, it's authentic. You know what I'm saying? But it's still like, you know, like a rapper. You know, this is before rappers was using their, you know what I'm saying, government names.
Mixing a little bit of their real name with whatever they want to add into it.
So I seen that movie and I thought that was crazy. That is, you know, it's like his stage name was Johnny Cash, you know, and I was like, ooh, Joey, like I should just roll, you know what I'm saying, roll with that. And I just thought it just fit.
That's lit though.
Yeah.
That's lit. You know, what do you believe about, you know, the current, you know, music game, you know, in Washington State right now? And I'll say specifically, you know what I'm saying, I-5, man, I-5 North, you know, where we at. You know what I'm saying? Federal Way all the way up, you know, to Everett. Fuck it. You know, just the sound, the love, you know, just the music scene, you know what I'm saying?
I like the scene. You know, I wish that you know, 'cause I've been seeing like the local scene get a lot of flack lately, and you know, a lot of the younger artists is getting a lot of flack. You know, I support all the younger artists that are putting out dope shit, just like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I support the older artists that are my age or older than me that's putting out. Anybody putting out something dope, I support it. You know? You know, I one thing I wish though is that we can get back to the local shows. That's one thing that is dead about the local scene. Is the shows. You know, like at one point, like in 2000, you know, like 2011, 12, 13, 14, like it's like a show monthly for you to go to, you know what I'm saying, and shows were safe. You know what I'm saying? Like remember what was going on in the streets and all that, you can go to a local show and it wasn't gonna be all that. And now, you know, whatever's falling off into the streets is happening in the shows and all that.
It's leaking into the music game,
you know,
too.
So it gets, you know, so now it's like, you know, the shows are definitely, you know, is definitely a lot different. You know, you're not really seeing shows with dope lineups of all these different artists, you know, that you would see like 10 years ago. You know, so that's something I really would like to see, you know, being able to, you know, just because I used to, even if I wasn't performing, I would just go to these shows. You know, just to, you know, just to soak it up. You know, so that's something I feel like that's definitely missing. But the younger artists, you know, like as far as the views, they're running it up. Like, like it seems like definitely they're running it up more than before. Definitely, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's always pros and cons. You know what I'm saying? But I like what people are doing. You know, for sure.
What are some of the elements that, you know what I'm saying, you bring to the table, you know, as far as, you know, your part and what you do for the music scene, you know what I'm saying, locally in Seattle per se, you know what I'm saying?
You know, my last project, I really tried to collab with different artists from all over and artists that are different age groups. You know, so I got, you know, my last project, I got a song with like Make a Million, you know, who's, you know, way younger than me.
Yeah, he's hard.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, me and M.A. from the same, you know what I'm saying, the same hood and all that, you know what I'm saying? But, I figured it out and reached out to him and we got it together. You know what I'm saying? People like that, you know, people like, you know, Fatal and, you know what I'm saying, people like Ralphie, you know, people like, you know, King of the Hill, you know, putting all these people, even if they're not all on the same song, on the same project,
for sure,
that, you know, normally wouldn't be.
Showing diversity,
you know
and showing your affinity and respect for what they got going on. Because you can be from a certain section, but that don't mean that, damn, do I really gotta just dislike the niggas' music? You don't understand if it's a song where he's talking bad about my niggas or something, or just the area, but if a nigga got good quality music, man, I mean, goddamn.
Exactly. You know, I try to do my part of breaking down the politics. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, collabing and, you know what I'm saying, getting with everybody and, you know, not the you know, because, you know, man, bro, when people are separated, you know what I'm saying, like, bro, we're conquered. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So it's like, you know, people be, you know, talking about the young dudes and the young dudes talking about the older dudes and all that. Look, bro, that's all that Willie Lynch letter shit.
I'm telling you, bro, real
like,
talk.
For real.
Light skin versus dark skin, this versus that.
Old and
you
all
know,
that, you know what I'm saying?
The nigga in a Cutlass versus the nigga in a Bentley. You know what I'm saying? The big booty bitch versus the bitch with no booty. You know what I'm saying? All that shit,
bro. You know what I'm saying? So I really be trying to, you know, I really try to do my part as far as the music. You know, just collabing with whoever I think I can make something dope with. You know what I'm saying? And just trying to make the city look good, you know, with, you know, the quality, you know what I'm saying? And really, you know, because there's stigmas out there that, you know, the music is, you know, that like our music is less than. You know what I'm saying? So when you come with the quality of like, nah, we're, you know, like, I got the quality of somebody that's signed to a label.
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying? Out the muscle.
And just as much flavor. You know what I'm saying?
Even
more sauce.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and less resources.
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just picture if I get it all, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, real talk.
I can take it for real. So, you know, all that, you know, I feel like I bring to the table, you know?
Do you think that, like, you know, some of the, I'll say politics and some of the, you know, things that's going on out here just within the communities and the streets and shit would keep, you know what I'm saying, potential, you know, record labels to keep a padlock on the doors and shit?
I think as far as record labels, I think that if I was a record label, right, and I'm not seeing the people supporting, you know what I'm saying? I'm not seeing the people supporting where somebody's from, I'm not going to sign them.
Yeah.
It don't really matter what the music sound like for real, because you see that they're signing anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you see people behind something, you know what I'm saying, and where somebody's from, then you think like, okay, well, we could take this energy and spread it. You know what I'm saying?
Worldwide.
But it's like if I come to your city and I don't know nothing, and your city ain't going crazy about you, what makes me think I can make another city go crazy about you? You know what I'm saying? If I don't know nothing.
I believe that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, like, so I think that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I see people, you know, like, when I would see, like, certain artists having their moment and people would hesitate to get behind them, it's like, this is the reason why people aren't hitting that next, breaking through that wall and hitting that next level for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, people got to get behind it, whether it's your favorite music or not. You know what I'm saying? When I see somebody having a moment, bro, I'm a, you know what I'm saying, do my part of trying to support it. You know what I'm saying? So, because, you know, I like seeing other people win. You know what I'm saying? It ain't mean I'm a lose.
Yeah, real
you
talk.
Know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
insecurity, really.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? You don't believe in your own hustle. If this nigga's scoring 30 a game and you can't feel that, you can't even at least get 20.
Exactly. I don't think I'm gonna lose in the end. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really feel a way about, you know, helping somebody out or supporting or whatever.
Do you think there'll ever be another time in history to where, you know, there's a No Limit, there's a Death Row Records, there's a Rough Riders movement to where cats from one city in this generation will be able to come together and they can be all from different parts of Seattle, different parts of, you know, Federal Way, Kent, the South End, North Seattle, man, and really just, man, we need to get the hottest of the hot, put them together, man, and create a super group. And I see there was somebody that tried to do that, but I'm thinking, like, right now, do you feel that, I'm just speaking on this generation, man, like, can that really happen, man, and really take it by storm, though? You know what I'm saying?
I think that, I mean, you know, anything's possible. You know, that would be hard to do now. You know what I'm saying? Because with the, you know, everybody wants everything so fast. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, do people have the patience to kind of wait their turn compared to when you talk about No Limit or Death Row? And, you know what I'm saying? When you look at, like, a Death Row, okay, you know, Drake came out first, then Snoop came out, then Corrupt,
Yeah.
and Daz came out,
yeah.
and people, people, and
Yeah.
then Nate Dogg had to wait his turn, so everybody had to wait, sometimes years, you know what I'm saying, to really get their turn, but they have to play their parts.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if people have that patience now. When you look at like a different formula is that when you look at like the Bay of how they would just all collab. You know what I'm saying? So like even if people ain't gonna be all under the same umbrella, us just hearing, when you hear like when you would hear like a Messy Mar project, and you would hear all these different people on it from the Bay or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like,
from all parts of that motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying? So you'll mess around and hear 5 different artists from the Bay, and you're getting hit to be different people. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you'll mess around and listen to one dude from the Bay, and I didn't even know about the Jack.
Yeah, real talk.
I didn't even know about San Quinn.
I got put on to a lot of artists. That Thiz movement and all that movements
like
and shit.
You would listen to one of their albums, and you're hearing everybody on it. So,
facts.
And then, his album would have, the next person's album would have everybody on it. So it's like you was kind of forced to hear these people and kind of pick who you like. You know what I'm saying? But when you see these artists out here and you make a whole album and you ain't got nobody on your album, you know what I'm saying? You ain't really spreading nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't really bringing in too much, and you ain't spreading nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because, when artists, like, when you get on these songs with people, you got to promote it.
Guarantee.
You got to promote it, bro.
Guarantee.
You know what I'm saying? You might be thinking, like, it ain't my song or whatever. Nah, bro, be a part of something dope and help it spread, because you never know where it can go. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, bro, like, if people ain't going to be all under the same umbrella, like, doing songs together and doing videos together, it's another way to attack that.
So, how do you feel about, in this era, in this day and age, that cats is paying for streams and bots to boost their, their music or boost their streams or boost their videos on YouTube platforms and different things, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I call it putting baking soda on it, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you think that is, something that cats should use or shouldn't use based upon the current state of the music game now?
It's hard to call it, because when you see major artists and major labels doing that too, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like okay, it's difficult, bro. Because the thing is, this music industry is entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It is Hollywood. It is show business. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to be authentic. Yeah. It's real hard to be authentic and to really play the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's something I struggle with, because I be trying to, keep it, keep it as authentic as I can and keep it realistic. You know what I'm saying? But, keep it as authentic as I can. But, when you see everybody playing these, different games and all that, it's like it gets difficult, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It gets difficult.
No, I already know.
You
know what I'm saying? Because people use it as a cheat code too. You know what I'm saying? And in this generation, in this day and age, cats go for the fluff. You know? If it looks good.
And that's the other thing, bro. Like, people got to think about what they're flocking towards. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you hear a song, right, and you see the song don't got that many videos, and now you feel like it ain't as filthy because it don't got as many views, you're a groupie.
That's how people judge shit, bro.
That's some
telling you,
shit.
That's lame. I can't stand that shit.
It's like people don't know how to call something now. It's all about, does it have the clout or not?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's all about what people, what people are falling towards. You know what I'm saying? Because when you see people, you ask yourself, like, man, why would somebody get on the internet and make a fool of themselves, right? You ask yourself that, but then it's like, okay, people are watching it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, anything that people are gonna, go towards, bro, somebody's gonna do it.
That's just how it is,
bro. It may not be me, but somebody gonna do it though. You know what I'm saying?
9 billion people, 8 billion people in the world. Somebody gonna do it.
So I be having to check myself sometimes. All right, bro, you watching too much
real talk.
Clown shit. You know what I'm saying? On this internet, bro. You know what I'm saying? Get into something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't help it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, people gotta look at what they be watching. You know what I'm saying? What you're entertained by, for real.
Let's talk about investing into one's music career.
Yeah.
So, if you're not doing something that, you feel to invest in, do you consider it a hobby? Or do you think that a lot of cats is sitting back just waiting for everybody else to notice them, and then that's how they're gonna, really decide if they're gonna push their career? Because I believe that an artist should come out their pocket. I don't give a fuck if you're working at McDonald's, if you hustling, however you getting it, man. If you really believe in your passion, you know what I'm saying, invest in your passion.
For me, I might respect your artistry, but I don't respect your grind if you ain't spending your own money. That's how I feel about it. Even if you got somebody that's investing money into you, if you ain't willing to put your money up too, you know what I'm saying? I don't respect the grind, bro. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I've never had an investor. You know what I'm saying? I've always put my own money into me, so I'm gonna look at it different. You know what I'm saying? So, but like, the thing is, bro, you can't spend enough money on it. You know what I'm saying? When you look at what these major labels are putting the money towards, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you can't spend enough money. You know what I'm saying? So you might spend a couple $1,000s and feel like I'm maxed out. You know what I'm saying? But think about what somebody's spending to promote Lil Baby.
Real talk.
Think about what the people behind him are spending. You know what I'm saying? Think about what he's spending on himself to promote himself. He's spending a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever your favorite artist is, it's a lot of money being spent of why they're in your face the way they are. You know what I'm saying? So you can't spend enough. You know what I'm saying? You really can't.
What, so this is the Game 365 podcast, and I got to ask everybody, what's your definition of game?
Man, I would call game is street knowledge. That's what I would. That's what I would call it.
For sure. Street knowledge, and however you apply it, and whatever that means to you, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, there's millions of definitions, but I just like to know, how everybody feels about that. Joey Kash, man, when you go in the studio, do you write? Do you punch in? You got a hybrid of both?
And no punching in, bro. unless it's really net. Like, if I punch in, bro, it's like the take had to be so cold. That it's like, this was perfect. And, so I messed up on this one part, and I had to just punch it in. Like, but I'm not planning to punch in. Like, I don't know. That's kind of, I'm older, bro, so that's just not the way we came up in the studio. That's the way you do it.
Niggas like, had that notepad, or now you got the phone.
But I definitely write before I get there. So I'm trying to I'm trying to do different things, like go places and write. You know what I'm saying? Like, even just I'm trying not to even write in the house no more.
Get the vibe from wherever you at.
Sit in the sit in the beach somewhere, or sit in the if I'm out of town in a hotel, I'm gonna sit in the hotel for a little bit and write something. Or, you know what I'm saying? Just take, then just get out in the world and just experience the world and then write something, and I'm trying to do that and just get out the house, because you never know how that can inspire you as far as sitting in your room and being in your living room and looking at them walls and trying to come up with something, you know what I'm saying? Like, just being out in the world, you never know. You might see something across the street that might make you want to put that in the rhyme, So I try to do that.
Closed studio session, or all the homies and bitches and everybody in the studio?
Just me, or just whoever's recording. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm straight to business with it. Like, I'm trying to get as much done as I can. And without the distractions, I ain't trying to have no party and all that. Just or just somebody that's gonna, like, can give me an opinion that I respect. Like if my boy, my boy Low Key can come with me or something.
Shout out Low Key, man. We're waiting to get on him too. Get his ass in the interview.
If I get him to come with me, saying somebody like that to give me an input, then I definitely want that. But just people there to be there, I'm cool on that for sure.
So let's talk about, a little bit of your past projects, current projects, and future things that you want the world to know that you pushing, any platforms they own, whatever comes to your mind that you want to push, though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I got right now, I got 10 albums out that's on all digital platforms. I'm working on something new right now. I ain't ready to announce it yet. I got some cooking, my last project, Rich People Are Crazy, is the one I was talking about, that I got, all these different artists from all over, half the songs on there is collabs, so it's like an album where you can hear me, but you can also hear the scene, you know what I'm saying, of all different styles.
That's hard, though.
And, and it was all local producers, most of my projects got all local producers, so Cause I don't really like the internet, you know. I ain't never met you before. You emailing me
Yeah,
beats, and you be from
yeah.
a different country and
Yeah,
all this.
yeah.
You know,
30
like,
niggas got the beat.
right. I got like I want to come to your house if I can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hear some beats.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
the organic.
You know, and just organic. I feel like all the best music is made like that with somebody that you know. You know what I'm saying? Like you can call him on the phone. You can pull up. You done met his mama. And, you know what I'm saying? All that. Like you guys, I feel like that's where you make the best music. You know, so I try to do that.
If you had an artist that, you know what I'm saying, was coming in from Chicago, Miami, LA, Detroit, New York, etc., man, and you could take them to the best restaurant in Seattle, man, where would you take them to, man?
That's a cold one right there. That's a cold one right there. That's a cold one right there. Oh man. I gotta take him to get some yaki, bro. I gotta take him to some teriyaki.
Yeah, got that yaki everywhere.
I gotta take him. You know what I'm gonna take him? I'm gonna take him to that. What's the one spot? That's is it called 488? That's it's in the parking lot of the Walmart in downtown Renton.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know if it's called 488, but I know you're talking about.
Okay. I don't be knowing the names. I just be knowing where he at.
Yeah.
I'm taking him to get some yaki, bro, because you really can't get that nowhere else. I'm taking him to get some yaki for sure.
What features on your bucket list, man? Somebody outside the city, outside the town, outside the state. What feature is on your bucket list, man?
I need Sade, bro. I need Joey Kash and Sade. I don't want to just sample Sade. I want a song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, with Sade, or you know, give me somebody like, you know, I'm aiming for the sky. You know, I need Hove.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I need somebody like that. You know, like definitely.
What's your number one song streamed, viewed to date?
My number one stream song.
Yeah.
It's either I Gotta Be or Blue Hundreds.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Either of them two is my top ones.
What's the song that gets the most from the women and shit though?
The most from the women.
Yeah.
You know what's wild, bro? The women don't be liking my songs about the women, bro. They be liking the ratchet shit, bro.
They be liking the
ratchet shit, bro. That's at the Ritz, bro. The song at the Ritz, like women be loving that joint.
Shit
All the
smooth,
songs, bro, I don't be thinking they shit like, bro. They be loving
smooth.
it. And then the ones I be making for, you know, for the women, they be like, oh, that one was cool, you know, and all that. But they be liking the ratchet shit. You know, so at the Ritz, the females love Blue Hundreds too. That's definitely one they like. Yeah, them two is the top, probably the top ones for real.
Yeah. One last question, man. If you ever to give, you know, some advice, you know, to a young up and coming Seattle artist, man, give them a couple tips, you know what I'm saying, how to get in the game, how to maintain, and how to prosper in the game, you know what I'm saying?
I would say, bro, you know, try to master your craft, bro, before you try to get on, before you try to get famous, before you try to you know, get popular and all that. You know, try to master the craft, you know, write to a bunch of different beats, you know what I'm saying? Like practice, bro, like record, get you a little setup, you know what I'm saying, where you can record and hear yourself and write to a bunch of different beats and record and listen to, even if you never put it out, you know what I'm saying? Just practice, you know what I'm saying? And try to figure out your own style. Like, you know, we all start out rapping like somebody, you know what I'm saying? But figure out your own style, bro, because it's like whoever you're trying to rap like, they can get that from them.
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying? Figure out what you can bring to the table that's you can only get this from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's when you're gonna really build that fan base for real.
Yeah, for sure. Joey Kash, Game 365 podcast. We out.
Good looking, bro.
Yes, sir.